Okay, so now that we've created our value scale and shaded a cube, we are ready to move on to the cylinder. So we know how to start thinking about light from the way it could shine on a cube and light would hit the side and couldn't travel around. So now we're looking at the cylinder shape. So that would be like a can of soup. So when light hits the side of this now, it can travel around the object. So we're going to make sure we have a light side and a dark side, right? So first we need to start with how to draw a cylinder. So to draw a cylinder, the top is an ellipse. So that is like a very skinny oval. So we're going to start by drawing that. The sides go straight down. Easy enough so far. Make sure they go super straight. And then the bottom is slightly curved. See how we have this curve, the top of the cylinder here? We want the bottom to kind of mimic that. See? So now we have drawn our cylinder. So for this example, I'm going to have the light source, the sun or a light bulb, act as though it's shining on this side again. So if my light source is here, this is going to be my light values, and the other side is going to be my darker values. If the light is here, my shadow is going to be here, and it kind of mimics the shape. So it's very important to notice when you're watching me do this is that everything has a soft transition from my dark areas to my light areas. It's not blocked off with lines because this is a round object. So I want to show that when I'm adding my value. So I'm going to start from my darker side and fill this in with my darkest value because this side would be getting the least amount of light on it. And what happens is you'll notice I'm also adding value in kind of this curved way because the shape is curved. I want to gradually go through my value scale till it gets really light. So darkest, mediums, light. Dark, medium, light. I'm going all in one direction because there is no curves on no sides to a can really. It's all just rounded. Okay, so I made it so it kind of looks like this is not a smooth transition here. So I want to make sure I go back in and smooth this out so you can barely notice the changes. Go back in and make my area over here even darker. And remember, I think I mentioned this in the last video, I'm using the side of my pencil. I'm not using the tip. You want to make sure you're using the side of your pencil. And the longer you work on this, the better your outcome is going to be. So dark, mediums, and lights. Then you can take a tissue or a blending cloth if you have one, or tortillon. If you don't like this look, you can blend it out so it looks super smooth. Okay, and this is really dirty, so I got a bunch up here. It's always nice to have clean edges. It changes the whole piece of work. So if this side got a little too dark for you, you can always go back in and lighten it up with an eraser. Now we have to do the top of our cylinder. So it's kind of interesting that the top of our cylinder is shaded the opposite way. So this is going to be the dark side. And it gets lighter as you go across the other way. And why that happens is, so say this is my light and it's shining this way, and maybe it's up here a little bit too. The light beams are coming out straight. So it goes straight until it hits something. So the light would go here, making the opposite side the shadow, right? That's why that happens, but I know it's a little tricky to think about at first. Okay, you could smooth out the top if you want to. That's a personal choice of style. And all you have left to do now is your shadow, which also is a gradient. It's always the darkest, the closest you are to the object. And as you move away, it gets lighter. So that is how we add value to a cylinder. Clean up my edges and then I am all done.